You step into the shower, go through your usual routine, wash your hair, scrub your body, maybe even use a bit of extra soap for good measure. You step out feeling refreshed, assuming you're as clean as you can possibly be. But what if I told you that some of the most bacteria-ridden areas of your body might still be untouched? Most people focus on the obvious: hands, armpits, legs, face. But there are hidden areas that accumulate dirt, sweat, bacteria, and even fungi without you realizing it. And over time, neglecting these spots can lead to skin infections, unpleasant odors, chronic irritation, and even more serious health risks. The worst part? Many people don't even know they're making these mistakes. Proper hygiene isn't just about washing. It's about knowing which areas need extra attention and how to clean them effectively without causing irritation or damage. Because while some body parts can handle a little neglect, others require daily care to prevent bacteria from building up and causing long-term problems. In this video, we're breaking down 8 body parts that most people forget to wash properly, and why skipping them could be putting your health at risk. If you want to protect your body and avoid these hidden hygiene traps, hit like and subscribe. Because staying clean means staying healthy. You probably don't think twice about washing your face, scrubbing your hands, or rinsing your hair in the shower. But how often do you pay attention to what's happening behind your ears? If you're like most people, the answer is probably not often enough, and that's a problem. The area behind the ears is one of the most overlooked spots on the body when it comes to hygiene. It's warm, it's often damp, and it's full of oil-producing glands, a perfect environment for bacteria to thrive. Throughout the day, sweat, dirt, dead skin cells, and excess oil accumulate in this hidden area, creating an ideal breeding ground for bacteria and even fungi. If left uncleaned for too long, this buildup can lead to irritation, redness, unpleasant odors, and even painful infections. One of the biggest reasons this area gets neglected is that it doesn't seem dirty. Unlike your hands, which visibly collect grime throughout the day, or your underarms, which clearly produce sweat, the back of your ears don't give obvious signs of needing a wash until the problem becomes noticeable. If you've ever caught a faint but unpleasant smell coming from behind your ears, that's bacteria and old sweat breaking down, signaling that it's time for a good cleaning. But it's not just about odor. Neglecting this area can lead to clogged pores and skin infections. When oil and dead skin aren't properly cleaned away, they can mix with bacteria and cause painful breakouts, irritation, or even fungal infections. In some cases, unwashed buildup can create seborrheic dermatitis, a condition that causes flaking, redness, and itching, something many people mistake for dandruff or dry skin. So how do you properly clean behind your ears? It's simpler than you think, but consistency is key. The next time you're in the shower, take a moment to gently scrub behind your ears with warm water and mild soap. If you use shampoo, let it run down the back of your ears, but don't rely on that alone. Oils and sweat don't always rinse away on their own. Using your fingertips or a soft washcloth, gently massage the skin to remove buildup without causing irritation. If you wear earrings, glasses, or hearing aids, it's even more important to keep this area clean. These accessories can trap bacteria and sweat, increasing the risk of irritation and infection. Make sure to wipe down the back of your ears regularly and clean any jewelry or hearing devices to prevent additional buildup. And don't forget the drying process. Damp skin can breed even more bacteria, so always pat behind your ears dry after washing. If you tend to sweat a lot, consider using a bit of baby powder or a light moisturizer to keep the skin from becoming too oily or irritated. Ignoring this small area of your body might not seem like a big deal, but over time, the consequences add up. Odor, irritation, and even painful skin conditions can all be avoided with just a few extra seconds of care. So next time you shower, take a second to think, have I actually washed behind my ears? If not, it's time to start. Like and subscribe if you learn something new, because sometimes the smallest hygiene mistakes have the biggest impact. You step into the shower, wash your hair, scrub your arms, legs, and back, making sure you feel fresh and clean. But there's one small area you probably don't even think about, your belly button. And that's a problem. The belly button is one of the most overlooked parts of the body when it comes to hygiene. It's small, It's hidden, and most people assume it doesn't really get dirty. But in reality, your belly button is a prime spot for bacteria, sweat, and dead skin cells to accumulate. And if you're not cleaning it regularly, it can turn into a breeding ground for infections, unpleasant odors, and even fungal growth. Think about it. Your belly button is essentially a small enclosed pocket in your skin. It doesn't get much airflow, it traps moisture, and if you don't wash it properly, it becomes the perfect environment for bacteria and even yeast to thrive. Over time, dirt, sweat, and oil build up, leading to a dark, sticky, and sometimes even smelly residue known as navel lint. But the real danger isn't just the odor, it's infection. If bacteria are left to multiply inside the belly button, they can seep into the skin, leading to redness, itching, and even painful abscesses. Some people develop fungal infections in their navel, especially if they sweat a lot or wear tight clothing that traps moisture. In more severe cases, an unclean belly button can even develop a discharge or pus-like buildup, which is a clear sign that bacteria have taken over. And if you have a pierced belly button, the risk is even greater. Belly button piercings create small openings in the skin that can easily trap bacteria, leading to infections if they're not cleaned properly. Many people assume that once their piercing heals, they don't need to pay attention to it anymore. But without regular cleaning, the area around the piercing can still harbor bacteria and lead to irritation or infection. So, how do you properly clean your belly button? First, recognize that water alone isn't enough. Many people assume that rinsing off in the shower will take care of any buildup, but the belly button is a recessed area where soap and water don't always reach effectively. Instead, make it a habit to gently wash your belly button with mild soap and warm water. Using your fingertip or a soft cotton swab, apply soap inside the navel and gently clean out any buildup. If you have an innie belly button, make sure to reach into the folds where bacteria are most likely to hide. If you have an outie, cleaning might be easier, but you still need to make sure sweat and dirt aren't building up on the surface. For extra hygiene, once or twice a week, use a cotton swab dipped in alcohol to disinfect your belly button, especially if you sweat a lot or live in a humid climate. This can help eliminate bacteria and prevent fungal growth. However, be careful not to overdo it. Alcohol can dry out the skin, so it's best to follow up with a light moisturizer if your skin feels tight or irritated. And don't forget about drying. After every shower, make sure your belly button is completely dry before putting on clothes. Trapped moisture is one of the biggest reasons infections develop, so gently pat the area with a towel or use a cotton swab to absorb any remaining water. Most people don't think twice about their belly button until something goes wrong, until they notice a strange smell, feel irritation, or in worse cases, develop an infection. But just like any other part of your body, this small area needs regular care. So, let me ask you, when was the last time you actually cleaned your belly button? Be honest, and drop a comment below. I won't judge. You wash your hands multiple times a day, lathering up with soap and rinsing thoroughly. But have you ever stopped to think about what's lurking under your fingernails? Most people assume that washing their hands is enough to keep them clean, but the area under your nails is one of the dirtiest places on your body. It's a perfect hiding spot for bacteria, dirt, dead skin cells, and even harmful pathogens that can lead to infections, food contamination, and illness. If you're not actively cleaning under your nails, you might be carrying germs everywhere you go, without even realizing it. Think about all the things your hands touch throughout the day. Your phone, money, door handles, keyboards, shopping carts. These surfaces are covered in bacteria, and if you're not regularly scrubbing under your nails, those germs can get trapped and spread back to your face, your food, and even other people. Studies have shown that even after washing hands, bacteria like E. coli, Staphylococcus, and yeast can still be present under the nails. That's because soap and water alone don't always reach deep into the crevices where dirt builds up. If you don't actively clean under your nails, you're giving bacteria a free ride to multiply and cause infections. But it's not just about germs. Neglecting nail hygiene can lead to painful infections. Dirt and bacteria trapped under the nails can cause paronychia, an infection of the skin around the nail that leads to redness, swelling, and even pus formation. Fungal infections can also develop when moisture gets trapped under the nails, leading to discoloration, thickening, and brittleness. So how do you properly clean under your fingernails? It's not enough to just rub soap over your hands. The best way to remove dirt and bacteria is to use a soft nail brush. Scrubbing under your nails with warm water and soap helps dislodge trapped debris that regular hand washing misses. Doing this at least once a day, especially after cooking, gardening, or handling raw foods, can significantly reduce the risk of infections. Another important habit? Keeping your nails trimmed. Long nails might look nice, but they trap more bacteria than short nails. If you prefer longer nails, be extra diligent about cleaning underneath them daily. And let's talk about nail biting. If you're someone who bites your nails, you're putting whatever is under them directly into your mouth. This can introduce harmful bacteria into your system, increasing your chances of getting sick. If you struggle with nail biting, finding a way to break the habit, whether it's using bitter nail polish or keeping your hands occupied, can protect both your nails and your health. Your fingernails might be small, but their impact on hygiene is huge. Taking just a few extra moments each day to clean under them can make a massive difference in preventing illness and keeping your hands truly clean. So, when was the last time you actually scrubbed under your nails? If this was an eye-opener for you, hit like and subscribe, because real hygiene isn't just about washing your hands. It's about making sure every part of you is truly clean. You step into the shower, lather up your hair with shampoo, rinse thoroughly, and step out feeling refreshed. But what if I told you that simply rinsing your hair isn't enough to keep your scalp truly clean? Most people focus on their hair when washing, running shampoo through the strands, and rinsing quickly. But what about the scalp? It's the foundation of healthy hair, and yet it's one of the most neglected areas when it comes to hygiene. Over time, oil, sweat, dead skin cells, and product buildup accumulate, creating the perfect environment for dandruff, irritation, and even infections. If you've ever struggled with an itchy scalp, persistent flakes, or hair that feels greasy even after washing, the problem might not be your hair. It might be how you're washing your scalp. Your scalp, just like the rest of your skin, constantly sheds dead cells. If these aren't properly removed, they mix with natural oils and sweat, now clogging the hair follicles and creating buildup that can lead to irritation and inflammation. This is why some people experience persistent flaking, even if they don't technically have dandruff. What they're seeing is accumulated dead skin that hasn't been properly washed away. And then there's the issue of oil production. Your scalp produces sebum, a natural oil that keeps your hair moisturized and protected. But when too much oil accumulates, it traps dirt, pollutants, and bacteria, creating an environment where scalp conditions like folliculitis, inflamed hair follicles, and seborrheic dermatitis can develop. If your scalp ever feels greasy within a day of washing, or if you notice pimples or small red bumps near your hairline, your scalp's oil balance might be out of sync due to improper cleansing. So how do you properly clean your scalp? First, it's important to actually massage your shampoo into your scalp, not just run it through your hair. Many people apply shampoo to the top of their head, rub it in for a few seconds, and rinse, but this only cleans the surface. To fully remove buildup, you need to use your fingertips, not your nails, to gently massage your scalp in circular motions, ensuring that the shampoo reaches every part of your head. This not only cleanses better, but also increases circulation, which can promote healthier hair growth. Another key factor, choosing the right shampoo. Many commercial shampoos contain harsh sulfates that strip the scalp of its natural oils, causing it to overproduce oil as a defense mechanism. This can lead to an endless cycle of greasy hair that requires constant washing. Opting for a sulfate-free shampoo, or one with gentle cleansing agents, can help maintain your scalp's natural balance without over-drying it. If you use hair products like gels, sprays, or dry shampoo, regular washing might not be enough to fully remove buildup. In these cases, using a clarifying shampoo once a week can help deeply cleanse the scalp and prevent residue from clogging the hair follicles. However, clarifying shampoos can be drying if overused, so they should be balanced with a moisturizing conditioner applied only to the ends of the hair, not the scalp. And what about people who wash their hair less frequently? If you're someone who prefers washing every few days rather than daily, incorporating a scalp scrub or exfoliating treatment can be a game changer. Just like exfoliating your face removes dead skin cells and unclogs pores, exfoliating your scalp helps get rid of buildup that regular shampooing might miss. Another important step that people often skip: drying the scalp properly. Many people towel dry their hair and move on with their day, but if the scalp remains damp for too long, it creates the perfect environment for bacteria and fungi to thrive. If you've ever noticed a musty or sour smell coming from your scalp, especially after sweating, it's likely due to moisture trapped at the roots. Ensuring that your scalp is completely dry before tying your hair up or wearing a hat can help prevent these issues. Maintaining a clean scalp isn't just about preventing dandruff, it's about creating the healthiest possible environment for your hair to grow. If you've been experiencing excessive shedding, weak or brittle strands, or scalp discomfort, your washing habits might be the key factor. So let me ask you, how often do you actually focus on cleansing your scalp rather than just your hair? Drop a comment below and let's talk about the best scalp care practices that have worked for you. You step into the shower, lather up, and rinse off, assuming you've cleaned your entire body. But what if I told you that one small mistake could be putting you at risk for fungal infections, bad odor, and even painful skin conditions? The mistake? Not properly washing and drying between your toes. Most people don't think twice about their feet when it comes to hygiene. After all, they're in socks and shoes most of the time, so how dirty can they really get? But the truth is, the spaces between your toes create the perfect environment for bacteria and fungi to thrive. Warm, dark, and often damp, these small areas trap sweat, dead skin, and moisture, setting the stage for common foot problems that can quickly get worse if ignored. One of the biggest issues caused by neglecting foot hygiene is athlete's foot, tinea pedis, a fungal infection that thrives in moist environments. If you've ever experienced peeling skin, itching, burning, or small blisters between your toes, there's a good chance you've had it. It starts with mild irritation, but without treatment, it can spread across the entire foot, causing cracked, painful skin that makes walking uncomfortable. Worse yet, fungal infections can spread to your toenails, making them thick, discolored, and brittle, a condition that's difficult to treat and can take months to fully heal. And it's not just fungus. Bacteria love these spaces too. If you've ever taken off your shoes at the end of the day and been hit with an unpleasant odor, it's likely due to bacteria breaking down sweat and dead skin between your toes. This smell doesn't just disappear on its own. It gets worse when you don't wash and dry your feet properly. So what's the solution? Proper foot hygiene isn't just about washing your feet. It's about cleaning them the right way. When you shower, don't just let water run over your feet. Take a moment to scrub between each toe with mild soap and warm water. Using your fingers or a soft washcloth, gently clean the spaces where sweat and bacteria accumulate. But here's the most important part: drying. Many people step out of the shower, dry their body, and assume their feet will air dry on their own. Big mistake. Moisture trapped between your toes creates the perfect breeding ground for infections. Always take a few extra seconds to dry thoroughly between each toe with a clean towel. If your feet tend to sweat throughout the day, consider using antifungal powder or cornstarch to absorb excess moisture and keep your skin dry. And let's talk about footwear. Wearing damp socks or tight shoes increases the risk of fungal infections. Always choose breathable socks made from moisture-wicking materials. And if your feet sweat a lot, change socks during the day. Let your shoes air out completely before wearing them again, especially if they're damp from sweat. Ignoring foot hygiene may not seem like a big deal at first, but over time, small issues can turn into chronic infections, painful skin conditions, and embarrassing odor problems. Taking a few extra moments each day to wash and dry between your toes can make a huge difference in preventing these issues before they start. So, when was the last time you actually scrubbed and dried between your toes? If this was a wake-up call, hit like and subscribe, because the smallest hygiene mistakes can have the biggest impact on your health. You step out of the shower, dry off, and get dressed. feeling fresh and clean. But what if I told you that one of the most overlooked areas on your body could be the perfect breeding ground for bacteria and fungus? Under the breasts, in the folds of the stomach, around the groin, these warm, moist areas are some of the most vulnerable spots for skin infections, irritation, and chronic discomfort. And yet, they are often ignored in daily hygiene routines. Skin folds trap sweat, oil, bacteria, and dead skin cells more than other areas of the body. Because they don't get as much airflow, moisture lingers, creating the ideal environment for fungal and bacterial overgrowth. If you've ever noticed redness, itching, or an unpleasant odor under your breasts or around skin folds, chances are bacteria and yeast have started to multiply. One of the most common conditions caused by this is intertrigo, a painful rash that develops due to friction, moisture, and heat trapped in the skin folds. It starts as mild irritation but can quickly turn into a more serious infection if left untreated. The skin becomes inflamed, raw, and sometimes even cracked, allowing bacteria and fungi to penetrate deeper, leading to painful sores, oozing, and an increased risk of secondary infections. And then there's yeast overgrowth. Candida, a type of fungus that naturally lives on the skin, thrives in warm, damp environments. When moisture builds up under the breasts or in skin folds, Candida can multiply uncontrollably, causing itching, burning, and a thick, white rash that doesn't go away easily. Many people mistake these symptoms for a simple irritation or heat rash, not realizing they may be dealing with a fungal infection that requires treatment. Ignoring these areas doesn't just lead to discomfort, it can have long-term effects on your skin's health. Constant moisture weakens the skin barrier, making it more prone to cracking, inflammation, and chronic infections. Over time, the repeated cycle of irritation and healing can lead to darkened skin, scarring, and permanent sensitivity. So how do you prevent this? It starts with proper cleansing. When showering, don't just let water run over these areas. Use a gentle, pH-balanced cleanser, and make sure to wash under the breasts, between stomach folds, and around any areas where skin rubs against itself. But the most crucial step? Drying. Many people step out of the shower and only lightly pat their skin with a towel, leaving behind small amounts of moisture that quickly get trapped in folds. Always take the extra time to completely dry these areas, especially before getting dressed. If needed, using a cool blow dryer on a low setting can help ensure there's no lingering dampness. For extra protection, consider using a light layer of cornstarch-based powder or antifungal powder to absorb excess moisture. Avoid talc-based powders, as they have been linked to potential health risks. If you're prone to sweating, wear breathable fabrics that allow airflow and wick moisture away from the skin. Hygiene isn't just about what you can see, it's about taking care of the places that are easy to forget but crucial for overall health. Because the discomfort, irritation, and infections that come from ignoring skin folds aren't just minor inconveniences, they can seriously impact your well-being.